let's rock, dudes.
Domination. Capture and defend the objective. We're taking Alpha.
Alrighty, boys.
Got Alpha.
Let's do it. Let's play some Modern Warfare multiplayer. Dude, I got toasted at work today. Absolutely toasted. So you can kind of tell from my face. It's really bad on my neck, and my freaking left arm.
One gone.
I'll show you guys in a second.
Reloading.
But right now, I turned off crossplay. I'm experimenting with a few settings to see what it'll actually do for my connection and for the lobbies I get into. Hopefully it'll be good and okay. But I guess we will see. Because I also realized that you need crossplay on for Warzone. And I think that's just such a dumb decision. Like, why do you need crossplay? It'd be one thing if it was like crossplay between Xbox and PS4. I feel like that's fine. There's no advantage one versus the other. But it forces you to have crossplay with PC. And do you guys remember, before the game came out, last year, Infinity Ward was saying all this stuff about crossplay and how they're going to implement it and put out all these details about it. And they said that crossplay was going to be based all on your input device. So if you had mouse and keyboard, it'd mount you up against people with mouse and keyboard. If you had a controller, it'd mount you up against people with a controller. Simple as that. Or if you had like a mixed party. Dude, what? I just hate kids like this. Yeah, but it like matches you up with whatever input you have. If you have a mixed party, so somebody in your party is using mouse and keyboard, then it'll mean you're going to get put into a mouse and keyboard lobby. Just because it's all based on input and basically like, oh, okay, well, you know, nobody should have an advantage over another. But then they went ahead and at launch they just did it anyways. Now crossplay is literally just Xbox, PS4, and PC all together. So it's just dumb. I'm like, so what? Console players are just supposed to be at a disadvantage because they're playing with a controller? Like, how does that make any sense? And so in theory, I could also just plug in a mouse and keyboard in my Xbox and still get matched up against Xbox people? I don't know. I think this game, there's some like fatal flaws with stuff like that. And I hope with Treyarch's Black Ops 5 they freaking do it right. And that they actually like keep their promises. Because Infinity Ward hasn't kept a lot of their promises with this game. Like they said before launch they were going to detail like their networking and netcode and stuff. And they never ended up doing it. So it's like, okay guys, come on. Can you guys stay true to your word? Please? As a community, that I feel like really means a lot. Is when developers are honest and open. Instead, it's a bad experience all around when the developers are just silent. Because the community is going to be vocal no matter what, right? But when the developers are just silent on everything... Wait, what? Oh, it's broken. What the freak? I didn't know you could get it in through there. When the developers are just silent, that like pisses off the community more. Like somebody posted on Reddit earlier this week about like some suggestion that they made, and Infinity Ward actually listened to it and implemented it into the game. But it's like, that's awesome. But why don't they acknowledge it, though? Like, how hard is it for them to, like, type a response and be like, hey, you know, we're looking into this. We're trying to, you know, like, take your suggestion to heart and actually implement it. Didn't Harrison... What? I don't know. Whatever. What?
We've got two objectives. Lock it down.
Oh my gosh, dude, that dude. Just love sitting up there with freaking marksman rifles and snipers and crap. Ugh. And I hate how in this game you can't ever jump over stuff. Sucks.
Rotating mag.
There you go. You freaking backfired, dog. Oh, he got me.
Securing A.
What the freak? How'd they get that objective?
Alpha, stand by. We've got Alpha.
Probably gonna show up right there again. No, he's on the right side.
Mark the
Enemy in
target.
the courtyard.
Need backup at Alpha.
Like, this game had like 3 years in development, had a long time in development, but it honestly doesn't show a lot of the time. Like Syndicate, YouTuber, he posted a tweet today that said that when he visited Infinity Ward last, he mentioned to them about how he would like to see like a button you can press that will like clear all of your recent items. And they were like, "Oh, really? Yeah, you know, we should do that." And they actually implemented it. So it's like, okay, so they listen to YouTubers, like big personalities,
Mark the target.
but not the community. Not. I think the COD Modern Warfare subreddit's up to like 500,000 people. So they won't listen to that, but they'll listen to a YouTuber.
We're holding two.
This is Jaguar 3-0. Person.
And it's just like stuff like that. That's like kind of baffling. It's like, okay, none of you guys really thought about that until now? Did any of you guys actually play the game? Play your own game? Like, that's something I gotta give props to Treyarch for, is they play their own game. A lot. Like, Vonderhart, he loved playing Blackout. Vaughn played Blackout a lot.
Securing B.
And, like, he'd play it in his free time, even when he's not working. And I think that's, like, the enthusiasm these guys should have. But it seems like they just, like, make the game and they're just like, eh, it's whatever. And then they won't listen to any feedback about it. Is that a guy? What the freak?
Hostiles at Charlie. Go.
Enemy at the cargo containers.
And I think that's what frustrates the community, because the community just needs to be heard.
Roger, this is Nomad 2.
It seems like the community doesn't really have a voice or a way to be heard.
We've got a UAV on station. Ready?
UAV entering the AO.
Cruise missile. Go for launch.
This is Jaguar 3-0.
Oh, he's gonna freaking get me.
Hostiles at Bravo. Go.
Right
Oh, thanks, teammate. Thank you so much, dude. You come over and you steal. I hate people like that, man. God, what is it with the COD community and stealing people's care packages? I swear. Forever now. Ever since, like, Black Ops 1.
Keep it tight.
Or even Modern Warfare 2. You call in a care package, like, you die, you call in a care package as soon as you spawn. You have, like, 3 of your teammates trying to steal it from you. And it's like, okay, none of you guys can capture this faster than I can. So none of you guys are actually going to get it. So why waste your time? They're like, oh, I want your care package. I want it. It's just so dumb. I'm just like, get your own freaking crap, dude. It's like a 4-kill streak.
Got a personal radar drone ready for escort.
Copy. Jaguar 3-0 en route for personal radar coverage.
There we go. There's that dumb.
Who dares win?
Okay, so I gotta show you. So you can kind of see on my neck. It's all freaking toasted. Okay, now take a look at my right arm. The lighting's not too great, so you can't see it super well. But my hand is a lot wider than the rest of my arm, and that's because at work I wear gloves. So my hand doesn't really get to see much sun. Okay, so that's this arm, not too bad. And then we got freaking this on. There you go. See, now you can see the difference with my freaking hand, dude. And if I roll up my sleeve a little bit, yeah, then you can definitely see it. Look at that, dude. Oh my goodness. That's nuts. See, I just got blasted at work. And you can see I have a scar from when I broke my elbow. Kind of shines in this, but fetch, bro. It's like my left arm just got absolutely blasted. And it's because while I was at work, I was facing west. And so the sun's over here to the south, just absolutely pounding me. So my left arm is just getting absolutely toasted. My right arm's just, you know, kind of hanging out. It's kind of, you know, just doing alright. Just getting tanned. Ooh, backlot. Let's go. Okay, and then here's the other thing, though, dude, that I was wanting to talk about is freaking. So they finally added trios back into the game today. And I'm really glad that they did this. This was great. So today is Friday, and the update came out Wednesday, so 2 days for them to add trios back in. Not too bad. But at the same time, it seems like it's one of those things that's like, why wasn't this in from the start? You know? Why wasn't trios just still included? Why do they have to replace it with quads? I don't know. I don't really get it. But they added it back in because the community's like, bro, we want trios. Because see, here's the major problem with that, is that your only options for playing Warzone are either one person. What the freak is wrong with my arm, dude? What the freak? And I was like, freaking like clear up here, like dangling in my face. What the freak? Dude, my shoulder blade is not attached to the side of my skull. Do you guys remember that back in freaking Ghosts? Whenever you were playing on PC, you had a high FOV and you freaking had the minigun. It'd be freaking, your arms would be like clear up here. What the fuck? But see, the problem though with solos and quads is it's your only options are 1 or 4 players. So what if you have one other person online, one friend online? Well, then you have to go into quads. And that's not fun because then it's a 2v. Oh, freaking sticking out through the thing.
Enemy's got the hard point.
Enemy in center.
We're losing ground. Step it up. Got the hard point. Stand by for movement. We've got it.
Launching rocket.
What? Oh, no freaking Claymore. My goodness.
The enemy took the hard point. Okay, get to the hard point.
And 2v4s aren't fun. Like, sure, you can have a squad fill on and have teammates, but they're randoms. And it's going to be a terrible experience. Like, you're not going to do well. Your randoms are going to get clapped, and they're going to rage quit as soon as they don't win their 1v1 in the gulag. And that's the way it's going to go down. I stuck him. Let's go. So then you're ending up fighting squads of 4 people with just yourself and one other person. And trios is a little bit better, like just having one person or having a random.
Be advised. Friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Like if you have a squad of 3 in quads. That's a lot more manageable. It's kind of like how before this update, you had trios and solos. So if you had a squad of 2, it was okay. You know, it's doable to do a 2v3. It's not great, but you can do it. What's not great is doing a 2v4. So I'm glad that they finally added it. But it's just like, why don't we have more modes? Right? Blackout, even in like the beta, it had solos, duos, and quads. 3 modes, right? Freaking get out of there,
Personal
you
radar
bum.
drone ready for enemy precision airstrike. Take.
Copy. Jaguar 3-0 in.
Stand by for
What? Oh, there he is, spawned in. Goodness. Yeah, Blackout had that back in 2018. But then in 2020, they can't implement 3 modes? Like, Trios is a great mode. I love Trios. But why can't we just play solos, duos, trios, and quads? Is that so hard?
enemies taking the hard
It seems like these nowadays developers are so concerned about splitting up the player base, Oh, we don't want to split up the player base. Oh no, like if we do that, it'll split up the player base. Even they did this in Black Ops 4, where they'd have those limited time modes and they would just like bring them in and out and in and out. Because you don't want to have too many modes because then you're never gonna be able to find a map. No. Call of Duty still sells millions of copies. Right now, Modern Warfare was like the best-selling game in March, and Warzone was the most played free-to-play game in the month of March as well. But, oh no, we can't split up the player base because we don't have enough players. What? You tell me that the most popular game out there in the world right now does not have enough players to have 5 modes?
Go. Get to the next one.
For real? Like, you guys remember back in, like, COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, all the way up until, like, Black Ops 2. Heck, even a little bit in Ghosts. They actually had a whole bunch of modes. Ghosts had a little bit less. But they had a whole bunch of modes. And sure, some of them weren't as popular as others, but the point was that there was an option there. It's like, okay, there's always going to be a niche. There's always going to be an audience for like Team Tactical or these like smaller modes that maybe not a lot of people are going to be playing, but there's always going to be a little bit of audience for that. So why not give players the option? Give them the choice. Like, can you imagine if like you go to like a restaurant, you go to a burger place, and they're like, you can only have one type of burger. You can't have pickles removed, you can't have tomatoes removed, you have to have pickles, onions, friggin' tomatoes, cheese. You have to have all that. You cannot change any of that.
Down and out.
That's just the way it is. And we only have 3 items on the menu.
We're halfway there. Keep
You're like, well, this sucks. Because everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. So why not spread that out and give people options? That's what people like. I mean, you have, like, the ability to, like, customize your class to however you want. Suit it to your profile. We've had this for years. The developers don't seem to realize that people also want to play the modes that they want. Can't get me.
Enemy's got the hard point.
Get wrecked.
Personal radar drone.
They're so concerned with me freaking being there.
Hard point secure. Go. Get to the next one.
Copy.
Enemy in the
Jaguar
destroyed
3-0
building.
en route for personal radar coverage.
Enemy
Down with
UAV
that
overhead.
RPG, boys. What? Did I hit the windowsill or something?
This is Jaguar 3-0.
Got a personal radar drone ready. Stand by for movement.
Dude, they're coming for me. They want me dead. Dang it.
Hard point lost.
Oh well, brand new hard point.
secure. Next hard point. Let's go.
Oh snap, behind us.
Jaguar
Oh, but then, what?
personal radar coverage.
Okay.
Keep fighting. We got this. Hard point.
Also, something I've been thinking about a lot recently is that I really want Blackout, like another Blackout. I think Blackout was such an awesome battle royale, and I kind of want to do a video and like retrospect of it, but like just kind of some initial thoughts on it. I think honestly Blackout could have been huge, could have been Warzone huge, but they just shot themselves in the foot, and I don't necessarily think it was Treyarch. I think some of the blame definitely goes to Treyarch for it, but another part of it is also Activision. So I think their first mistake was having it be exclusive to inside Black Ops 4. So you had to buy Black Ops 4 to get access to Blackout. That's mistake number one. Warzone fixed that by having it be its own free-to-play separate client. So it is included as part of Modern Warfare. But it's also its own separate client, so people who did not buy Modern Warfare can still play it. So that's cool. But Blackout didn't do that. You had to spend $60 on this game in order to get it. So that limited so many people. That like cut out so many individuals who are part of your audience for it. Cut out so many people. And also it's $60 too. Like there's some other games out there, Battle Royale games. I think like PUBG is like $20. What is it, like Escape from Tarkov? I think it's like 20 or 40 or something like that. Apex is free, Fortnite's free. But these other ones are free. But Blackout, you had to pay $60 for it. Like, sure, maybe if all your friends have it, you might get it. But still, like, that's gonna eliminate a lot of people because it's paid. Also, I think that Treyarch kind of choked because of the fact that they were trying to stretch themselves way too thin. They had Blackout, multiplayer, and zombies, plus they kind of had competitive, which kind of tied into multiplayer. And they had to focus on all of that in supporting the game post-launch. So like multiplayer had to have new maps, had to have new modes, had to have new weapons and stuff, camos, skins, stuff for sell supply drops, all that stuff. Was there supply drop? Yeah, there was. There's the crates, huh? Stuff to sell all of that. You had to do all that for multiplayer. Okay, then zombies. Zombies, you had to have new maps and zombies. You had to have, they did gauntlets. They had, what is it, like, they did another mode. I don't remember what it was called. But they had like other modes. They had like a whole bunch of stuff, new weapons, implement those in zombies, all this stuff. Apparently also zombies was supposed to all be chaos, and then they ended up cutting it, and so instead did, okay, well let's do 2 chaos maps and 2 aether maps. So that kind of eliminated some of their plans there. And then we also had with zombies just like a whole bunch of issues. There were so many bug fixes that needed to happen that honestly they probably like they could have gotten a lot more done if they didn't have to deal with all those bug fixes, and the community would have been a lot happier too. Now Blackout had some issues. But Blackout needed new maps, so it needed like updates to the existing map, needed new maps, so you had like all the changes to the map with all the updates. You also had Alcatraz, all these things that needed to happen in Blackout, plus like limited time modes, your challenges and stuff. And honestly, all of it could have been probably done, but I think Treyarch stretched themselves way too thin because they were just one studio. Let's see, you have one studio trying to divide up into 3 huge modes that could honestly be games on their own. Trying to do multiplayer, Blackout, and zombies all together. That's a lot to handle. So I think what they honestly should have done is they should have gave like Blackout or something over to Raven and let them focus on that. And then of course, you know, you can't give away zombies. Zombies is a Treyarch thing. So, keep zombies for Treyarch, okay? And also do multiplayer or something. Or have, like, Raven do multiplayer. And Treyarch does Blackout and zombies. Because just by having, like, another studio handle one of those modes, it would help out so much, dude. So much. And that's what I think this year with Black Ops 5 is actually going to turn out to be such a great game. Because of the fact that they have Sledgehammer working with them. And they also have, is it Raven? Raven, like Beanox also working with them too. all these studios working together. So Sledgehammer. I think it is Raven, because it's like Sledgehammer and Raven were like disagreeing on their game that they're making. So those two are making the campaign alongside Treyarch. So Treyarch shouldn't have to worry so much about the campaign, which should be really good for that. And instead, Treyarch can hopefully focus on multiplayer and zombies. And I really hope that they will have a blackout. So if they do have a blackout, that'd be great. But like I said, I think that they need help from these other studios. They really do. They need Sledgehammer's help on this game, and they also need Raven's help and Beanox's help. Because like a lot of these studios, they do work together, but it's not like a full, like fat, like huge coalition effort. Like you have like Raven and Beanox and stuff that are like support studios. I mean, Raven did make Modern Warfare Remastered on their own. Beanox did Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, pretty much on their own. So they can do stuff on their own. It's definitely possible. But they're way more support studios for Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch.
Kill confirmed.
Who did I just flash? So if they can have a blackout in it, I think it definitely needs to be free to play. It needs to be its own separate client. And it needs to be handled by a different studio and given a lot more priority. Because it seems like also Infinity Ward right now has just like pretty much cut all development for co-op. Which is fine. I mean, I think Spec Ops, it's a cool idea, but honestly, it just doesn't appeal to as many people as a Battle Royale or a Zombies mode does. So I think it's always going to be kind of seen as an afterthought. But they for sure need a freaking Battle Royale in it. Because, like, honestly, Warzone shows the power of a free-to-play Call of Duty game. Call of Duty Mobile shows the power of a free-to-play Call of Duty game. Especially one with a Battle Royale. Battle Royale is the hottest thing right now. You can't just keep pumping out multiplayer and zombies in a campaign. Because this has been done for like 15 years. Maybe not zombies, but, you know, you get the point. It's been done for a while. And it's just not the same, you know? It's not 2012 with Black Ops 2. It's 2020, and everybody wants more stuff now. Multiplayer isn't as fun as it used to be, because honestly, Call of Duty multiplayer has been the same thing for years. I mean, it's all identical, really. Pretty much every game like this. Every sequel is just like its previous one. Halo games are all the same. Borderlands games are all the same. Need for Speed games are all the same. But that's what like makes it the same franchise. You can't just like go from one genre of game to another just because. Like that's the only way games are not going to be the same. Teammate.
Halfway there. Keep fighting. Enemy UAV overhead.
But I hope that with Sledgehammer and Treyarch working on it alongside Raven, it will turn out to be a great game. I have a lot of faith in it. I mean, it is a 2-year dev cycle, and that sucks, especially when devs have had 3 years to do all. Oh, that was a freaking gosh. Like they've been accustomed to 3 years, but honestly, if you look at all the leaks and stuff that was going on with Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, they didn't quite have 3 years. Black Ops 3, I'm pretty sure they had a different campaign than the one that actually shipped. It was supposed to be different. Black Ops 4 was a huge change. That one was definitely not a full 3 years. Because we have a lot of leaks saying that Blackout was only started in like January of 2018. And they had the beta in September, so they had like 8-9 months to make Blackout. Apparently that's also about January. That was the exact same time that multiplayer was also scrapped. They had a multiplayer working before that. And they had like, it was close to being finished and stuff, but it was supposed to be like a, dude, can I not get clapped by this dude's stupid gunship? God damn.
Enemy at the courtyard.
So, multiplayer was scrapped. It was supposed to be kind of like an Overwatch clone, with like heroes and stuff. But apparently, like playtesters and Activision, they just didn't like it, and they didn't feel like it was like Call of Duty. Of course, there's a second guy, man. So they had to redo multiplayer at that point. So you have to redo multiplayer. You have to also make a battle royale. And I think it was like December of 2017 was when the campaign was canned. Activision made the decision then to can the campaign, because the campaign was supposed to be really weird and far out, like time travel and stuff, all sorts of crap. Are you kidding me? And dude gets me with a pistol with this range? God, dude, the sweats are freaking out for real. But they scrapped the campaign that they had been working on, and then it gets me in one shot. Nice. This game is lovely, isn't it? Ooh, let's grab all these tags, boys. So when your multiplayer gets completely redone, the campaign that you've been working on at that point for 2 years, then gets cut. All that work just goes down the drain, never to be seen, never to be fixed or anything. It's not like multiplayer, how multiplayer was cut and like redone, but they could still use a lot of the same assets, and the maps kind of need to be retrofitted, but there's a lot of stuff that they get salvaged from multiplayer. Campaign? No, there's nothing from that. They just had to just cut it and just be like, okay, nope. Multiplayer, all that work you guys put into it, just down the drain. There's nothing. So that was 2 years of work towards that, just for nothing. Getting shot from 2 places at once. All that was for nothing. Multiplayer had to be redone. And they had to add a Battle Royale mode. And there's a freaking dude with an incendiary shotgun. Man, this game is hitting all the freaking tropes. Jeez.
Time's up. Get moving.
And dude knows I'm right there, and he gives me the freaking incendiary shotgun. Oh well, they need 7 tags, 6 tags, in 18 seconds. Hopefully they can't get it. Gotta toss some shit.
Now report back to base.
So with all that crap that Trigger had to do, in 10 months, they had to come up with a Battle Royale, a brand new multiplayer, and cut the campaign, and also zombies. And they had 4 zombies maps. 4! So I think that's why, of course, everybody says that since they had 4 maps, that's why they were all so buggy at launch, is because they just couldn't really test them, and that they're just spread so thin with the zombies maps that even if they had 3 of them at launch and like Classified came out like 3-4 weeks later, it would have been in a much better state. Nuketown didn't even launch with the game. Yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff that happened. So I think that this year it's not going to be a lot different. It's pretty much going to be like the same situation. Yeah, sure, they have a 2-year dev cycle, But Black Ops 4 kind of had like a 1-year dev cycle. They had less than a year for multiplayer. They had less than a year for Blackout. Zombies, I'm sure Zombies had been worked on for like all 3 years and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's crazy though, dude. But that's just kind of my thoughts on stuff going around with Call of Duty right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on this. What do you guys like? Would you like to see more of this kind of stuff where we discuss this kind of stuff? But there you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys back here next time.